Hill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's
let
gonna
me get
swing
this
on
right.
Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Do you have a ton of faith in Badgers football right now?
You shouldn't open in their season at
Come on,
Lambeau
yeah,
Field against
seriously.
Notre Dame.
Notre
I'm
Dame,
looking at their
Penn
schedule
State.
right now. Penn State, Michigan State, UCLA, USC, Iowa, Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is seriously a program of I will believe it when I see it.
As long as Fickell has success this year with an easier schedule, there is no reason not to trust Wisconsin Badgers football team moving forward.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Riley Jauch, here's Molly Brown.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Riley, if the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush a Coors Light.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you guys are together. You can, do it together. That's so nice. Shout
We're a
out to you guys.
team. Come on. Let's go, Riley. Yeah, the R is back in Milwaukee, or back in Madison. Excuse me. Molly
Yeah,
in Milwaukee.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm Molly Brown. I am in Milwaukee by myself. There is an empty chair across from me in the WTMJ studios. Riley Jauch is back in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios, along with primetime Ryan Wollersheim. Wooly. God, your nickname's way too long. Ryan, I just saw that you have a new haircut. I wasn't going to start there, but it looks like you have a fresh haircut.
I do, yes.
Very fresh.
Got it this morning, yes. I was with Anthony over at the studio salon area in the Monona area where I go get my haircut. And thank you for noticing. You're the first person to say anything today, Molly.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm not even there.
Yeah, I know. Riley didn't say anything. Ashton didn't say anything. Yep. We got the basic white boy. Yeah, no, we just walk in, we say, hey, what he got?
BWB.
Yeah, basic white boy. Yeah, honestly, it's like joining the Marines. They just got the trimmers and everything. They just put you through on a conveyor belt. Yep.
Ryan, I'm going to do a Jason Wilde request on you right now. Don't clip me today, at least not video clips, because the way I'm looking right now, it looks like I have no hair. So, I don't know where my hair is right now, and yes, you guys can laugh at me. It's totally fine. I'm wearing a hat, Green Bay Packers hat. My hair has not been washed in 2 or 3 days. So my face just looks like an egg, and I am not happy with it. So please just don't cut any video clips of me. So let's just make sure that Riley, really? We don't have to make it full screen right now. Literally, where's my hair? Where is it? Have I looked like this all day? This is embarrassing. I mean, yes, but...
Unfurl?
But here's the thing, is that my hair will curl and, crimp very easily. So I don't know if you know what that means, Riley. But...
I know curl.
Okay,
Don't
so
know what
basically,
crimp means.
with the hair tie that I have in my hair right now, it will leave jagged lines in my hair, and it just looks
interesting.
atrocious. So...
But you're in the studio by yourself. You can just let it down so people know you have hair during the show and then just put it back up.
I mean,
Isn't
yeah,
that simple?
But it's also dirty, and it's just a lot. I don't know.
All right.
Just don't do any video clips of me. Anyways, so we are Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. So if you were listening, you just heard the Brewers defeat the Tampa Bay Rays 8-2. Look at me, baseball gal. Riley, you're a big baseball fan,
Yes, ma'am.
along with Wisconsin athletics, as you can see on your shirt.
Yes.
So I did not watch any of today's game. Did you watch any, or did you just listen?
Yes, I watched most of the game. I actually, really the only part of substance that I missed was the 8th inning where the Brewers scored 6 runs because myself and Pablo Iglesias were recording an interview with Badgers football new director of alumni relations, Brady Ewing. So make sure to tune into that tomorrow at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, the Jump Round. So that was the only part I missed. I watched pretty much the rest of it, yes.
Okay. So I actually forgot that there's a Brewers game on today. Now, while I'm in the Milwaukee office, I don't have just a radio playing like how we do in the Madison office.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
Yes, it's a bit different here. But I got the text from Ryan saying that the game was probably going to be delayed because, what is his name? C.B. Buckner?
C.B. Buckner.
Yes, was hit by a baseball. So then I was like, oh yeah, there's a Brewers game on. So then I kind of paid attention. And then I saw that it was 0-0 for a long time. Then it was 2-2, and then they really took off in the 8th inning, like you just said. But since you're a Brewers fan, we've asked this question before on this show, but I would love to hear what your answer is to it. And I guarantee we're going to have different opinions on it, just based on our fandom and our teams that we enjoy watching.
Yes.
If the Brewers won a World Series, are you willing to give up 5 years of Packers making the playoffs?
100%. That is not even a question.
Asinine.
That is asinine. That's
Yes.
not even a question.
Asinine.
The championships are forever. The playoffs, that could be 5 years of first-round losses to the Chicago Bears again. Whereas a championship, a world championship for the Milwaukee Brewers would be immortalized forever. Milwaukee, the city has won one back with the Braves back in 1957. But the Brewers, in over 50 years of existence, have never won a World Series. To say that Wisconsin sports fans would care more about 5 years of the Packers missing the playoffs than the Brewers bringing the first ever World Series title to Wisconsin, to Milwaukee, that would count for the Brewers organization, that's not even a competition. That's not close.
Okay. So on the flip side of that, though, 5 potentials, playoffs, losses for the Packers against the Bears. There could be 5 chances of going to the Super Bowl. There could be 5 chances of winning the Super Bowl. Like, we don't know how far the Packers are going in those 5 years. So, like, that's where I go in this because, now granted, I am a much bigger Packer fan than I ever will be for the Milwaukee Brewers. So, like, to me, yes, is it exciting when they make the playoffs, the Brewers? Yes. But, like,
But
I'm okay. If it just goes until the end of September, there's 162 games for me to pay attention to. It's fine. And I'm probably not going to pay attention to every single one of those. For the Packers, there's only 17, 18 games that I'm able to watch and consume each season. Like, that season is cut short. So that part, it's just like, that's why I want the Packers even more so.
Yeah, but then at max, you're getting 4 more Packers games. They make the wild card, then they get to the Super Bowl. At max, you get 4 more Packers games. The Brewers,
It's a great
you could get 4 more series. 4 more series of Milwaukee Brewers baseball, even if you just tuned in for the postseason.
But you don't like it for the longevity of it. You like it for the title.
Yes, it's a title. That's not how the Packers have had at least, over the past 15, 16 years since they won the Super Bowl, they've only missed the playoffs, twice? Once in that time
once
frame?
with Matt LaFleur, right?
Yep. Did they miss
I believe
it?
it was twice. They missed it right when Mike McCarthy got fired, his final season when he got fired.
Yeah, and then once with LaFleur.
And then once with LaFleur,
so the Packers have had 13, 14 chances in the playoffs since the Super Bowl, and they haven't won a Super Bowl since. Whereas in this hypothetical,
yeah, that's a long time, especially when we call ourselves Title Town. Like, I want to have the Packers go to the playoffs. Do you know, Riley? I know you deal with Jim Rutledge on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
But the amount of crap that we would take for the Packers not making it into the playoffs. Oh my God, I could not stand it.
Okay, it sounds like this is a very self-serving answer, whereas I am answering on behalf of the state of Wisconsin. This is a championship.
Okay, I understand it's a championship, but if we ask the same question about the Milwaukee Bucks before they had won the title, right? Because that was however many years of a drought. What was it? 40 years? Something like that.
It's 50 years.
Okay. I'm genuinely curious what the answer would be there too, because I think that people would rather have the Packers make the playoffs than the Bucks win a championship. But maybe that's just because Bucks fans are different than Brewers fans. I don't know. But I am genuinely curious about how people feel about it. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbos Talking text line. List is more. That is your way into the show. Tell us what you think. What would you give up for a Milwaukee Brewers championship title? Ryan, where do you stand on this?
I do find this conversation very interesting because the majority of fans, when we first asked this poll question, Molly, and you mentioned that we had asked this question before, we asked this question August 7th last year, like right during the peak of the Brewers winning in late July, early August.
Long winning streaks.
This was when it was very clear that they were going to end up being the best team in the NL. And that was right after the George Webb burger giveaway. I mean, this would have been like 2 weeks later.
The first one or the second one?
The first one. Or no, the second one. No, the first one.
Yeah, when
did
they
the first
actually
one.
got the burgers.
Yeah.
The one where they actually got
Yes.
burgers. Yes, exactly. This would have been shortly thereafter that. And we actually asked this question to Evan Cohen, and he directed us to ask this question again near the beginning of the Brewers season to see if people still felt the same way. Because initially, when we asked this question, 75% of fans agreed with Riley. 75% of fans agreed with Riley.
And that's a lot easier to agree with you while it's peak Brewer season.
I still think the majority would agree with me. And even if they don't, I think that's ridiculous. We are talking about a guaranteed championship for the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin is very much a baseball state, which is why I think comparing it to the Bucks is a little tough. I don't know if we're as big of a basketball state as we are a football and a baseball state. I think guaranteeing, I would be willing to argue, I'd go as far as saying that a Milwaukee Brewers World Series would have a bigger impact on the state and fans in the state than a Green Bay Packers Super Bowl. I think that's true.
No.
Yes.
No
yes.
way. No way.
Yes.
Packers are king here.
They are king, but the Brewers have never won a title. There are so many people. This is like the Chicago Cubs. They went over a century, decades, generations of fans never saw the title, and you saw how special it was when they won, especially to those older fans. I think we now are over 50 years of existence without the Brewers ever winning a world title. You are getting two fans having been Brewers fans their entire life and having never witnessed a World Series.
Chime in on the Carbless Talking text line. Carbless list is more 844-770-3776. First off, Adam and Moho wants to explain crimping to you, Riley. He says crimping is like making your hair look like a ruffle chip, which he's very right.
Okay, that's
which, as you can imagine, not cute. Then Donnie and DeForest said Bart Starr won last Super Bowl. The Packers only have 2 Super Bowl wins with all those great quarterbacks over the past 60 years. Make fun of the Cowboys, have been an NFC championship game. They have 5 Super Bowl titles in the last 60 years, while Adam and Moho says Green Bay still holds court in Wisconsin. See, I can imagine a world where people would give up the 5 years of playoffs for a Brewers title, but you are losing me 100,000%, saying that people would rather see or would care more about seeing a Brewers title than they would a Packers title.
If you take out all the Packers fans around the world outside of the state of Wisconsin, because we have so many Packers fans, diehards, that listen to this station, that contribute to our shows, that are from outside the state of Wisconsin. The Packers globally have a way, way bigger reach than the Milwaukee Brewers.
Side note, there's a really good documentary, I guess you would call it, on Tubi. I have to figure out what it's called. But it was about these Packer fans that met these like Japanese Packer fans.
Oh, really?
And like they brought the Japanese Packer fans over to like Green Bay and took them to a game and everything. It's fascinating. I will have to look up what the documentary is called. It's actually really cute and good. It's like obviously low budget film and whatever, but I just watched it recently, Ryan. Why are you looking at me like that?
I just didn't know Molly was watching Tubi. I didn't know that we were doing ads for
Tubi's
Tubi.
free, right?
Tubi free, and you can actually watch some really good movies on there. Like, I'm sorry. Like, count me in. Same with Pluto TV. I'm in.
Pluto TV.
This is just the most I'm just imagining like 30 minutes of ads and 15 minutes of movie.
No, it's not. It's not that bad. Like, it's no worse than my Netflix subscription, my Peacock subscription. It's literally the exact same.
What you need to do, you need to get Hulu, you need to get Disney Plus, you need to get ESPN Plus. That's all we need. That's all you need,
I'm just
Molly.
saying, Amazon, way too many ads. Way too many
Amazon's
ads when
got
I'm
a lot
trying to
of
watch
ads.
a TV show.
That's
Very
true.
frustrating.
Yeah,
Amazon I actually canceled after the football season because I'm like, I literally only use this to watch Thursday Night Football.
Oh, you're missing out. Amazon's got actually some good programming. Good shows, good movies.
As we all know, like, I stick to what I'm comfortable with. So, like, again, Legally Blonde, Mean Girls, like Real Housewives.
The classics.
The Green Bay
exactly,
Packers.
Exactly, the cult classics. I have to figure out what this documentary is called. I will find it right now.
Okay.
Continue, Riley.
Yes, while you find out that documentary, I will continue my thoughts. So while the Green Bay Packers have a much bigger worldwide reach than the Milwaukee Brewers, I think if you boil it down, two fans in the state of Wisconsin, yes, day in and day out, are the Packers king? Yes. But when it comes to a championship, the Milwaukee Brewers winning a World Series would do more for the state, have a bigger impact in the state of Wisconsin than the Green Bay Packers winning another Super Bowl. I'm not saying I don't want to see both happen, but would I rather take a Brewers World Series over a Green Bay Packers title right now? Yes. Would I 100% take a guaranteed title for 5 years? Only 5 years of the Packers missing the playoffs?
Only
Yes.
5 years.
Yes, that's not even a conversation, even though we're having it right now.
Right, like 5 years is like a quarter of your life at this point in time. Like that's a long time.
Yeah, more. We're getting close to a fifth. I'm turning 25.
Okay.
I'm turning 25 this year. Okay,
Oh.
so we're getting close to a fifth of my life.
Again, I pretty much say this to like at least one time a week, but in my mind, you're always 19,
Yeah.
which is wild.
Yeah, that's fair.
Adam in Moho says, my first tattoo was the Brewers ball and mitt logo, and I still hold Green Bay ahead of the Brewers.
What? Adam
Yep.
and Moho, explain yourself,
It's
please.
just a better. The reason why is because that is just the better logo. There's no debating
is.
that. While the Green Bay Packers are,
I do love the G, but the ball and glove
I
is
would agree.
iconic.
I still think the Packers winning a Super Bowl would mean more to the state of Wisconsin because it is the green and gold state at the end of the day, Riley. But I think everyone agrees that like everything else about the Brewers, the designs, the aesthetic, the vibe of the Brewers, that is like far and away the best in the state.
It's the embodiment
For sure.
of the state. And I think the Brewers right now, this team is so likable. They're so enjoyable to watch. They are the perfect embodiment of the state. For all the criticisms that people have of Matt LaFleur, that he can't close out big games, that he's not tough, Pat Murphy is the exact opposite of
Oh,
that.
come on. Pat Murphy's not out there freaking calling plays or he like.
I'm saying mentality-wise and how easy it is for Wisconsinites to relate to him. I think the average person in the state of Wisconsin, it's way easier for them to relate to someone like Pat Murphy than Matt LaFleur. And I'm not trying to disrespect Matt LaFleur. I like Matt LaFleur. I think he's a great coach. But I think, generally speaking, fans relate more to Pat Murphy and this Brewers team than they do to Matt LaFleur and the Packers.
I mean, yeah, it's very reminiscent to me of how people feel about Brett Favre versus an Aaron Rodgers. Like
Yep.
he's the guy they can relate to. He goes hunting, he goes fishing, he does all the things. Where Aaron Rodgers is that California bougie thing where he's different. Matt LaFleur is too pretty to relate to Wisconsinites.
Yes.
I think is the issue there. Where Pat Murphy, the guy eats pancakes out of his pockets. Like people
come
love
on.
that. People love that. Yes, that is true. I want to talk more about this and the other teams and the state of the other teams in our state. I should have said that differently, but the vibes. Because Jesse Nelson joined the show earlier this week, and he said that he feels like the Green Bay Packers have the worst vibes out of all of the sports teams in the state. He's crazy.
And only
I
the
don't know.
second worst take that Jesse Nelson has had in the past few days.
I'm curious to hear what the first one was. We'll talk about that next. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, featuring 2026 curling national champion Matt Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
in Sun Prairie is the place you need to go for all of your med spa needs. I go there for my hydrofacials, and I've seen the best results. They're absolutely incredible, but you can go to their West Side location. They've got, like I said, the hydrofacials, all different kinds of facials you can get there. Red light therapy, cryotherapy, the gym, literally so many things just to improve your health and wellness. So if you want to get started on your journey, you can head over to carbonworldhealth.com and experience the new standard of self-care at Carbon World Health. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. I'm Molly Brown in our Milwaukee studios. WTMJ, things behind me. Riley Jauch is in Everlight Solar Studios with primetime Ryan Wollersheim. And before we went to break, you mentioned Jesse having 2 bad takes.
Yes.
So his one bad take that he had on our show was that the Green Bay Packers have the worst vibes when it comes to sports in the state of Wisconsin, which we're going to get into.
Okay.
But then you said he had another bad take. So I'm curious, what was that take?
Did you listen to Wilde and Tausch this morning?
I did not.
Okay, so you missed it. They spend about the last half of the show, about an hour and a half, talking about how Jesse Nelson is anti-video review / ABS system in Major League Baseball because it takes away the sociological element of baseball, and that he would rather see calls be gotten wrong, and but umpires get to argue with the manager, and that he said, and I quote, the greatest skill a baseball manager can have is the ability to argue with an umpire after a bad call. That's probably not an exact quote, but it's pretty darn close. And it was so ridiculous. I believe we had about 5 pages of texts just absolutely dunking on him because it's so dumb. I'd rather see people argue instead of getting calls right in sports.
What is that saying, that sports are just like the man's version of like reality television and soap operas? Yeah, that's what that gives me the vibe of, is that Jesse wants to go watch umpires fight with managers. But honestly, this is not surprising coming from Jesse because I'm pretty sure that he's still an official in Little League or something.
I believe he still umpires.
He might have a union card still. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a local referee's union card.
He's probably scared that his job is going to get taken away if ABS becomes a big thing.
Yes, he was
can't up the Little League tournaments.
He was rooting for CB Buckner last night, I bet. When they had that terrible out call at first base, he was arguing with Lane Grindle in his mind, I bet. He couldn't stand it.
Yeah, see, I've umpired too. And you know what made me? Yeah, it was only.
Of course he has. Riley does DJing. Yeah. What else? What are your other jobs?
DJing, substitute teaching, little graphic design on the side. I like having the little.
You have a lot of side hustles. How do you do your
side
taxes?
Hustles.
Do you get paid in cash? You don't have to say it. It's fine.
No, see, I haven't done a side hustle. I didn't do a real side hustle all of last year. Well, no, I did have some graphic design on the side, but outside of that, it was a quieter year side hustle wise last year. So I wasn't too worried about my taxes for this coming year. Excited for that return though, that's for sure. But I umpired throughout middle school and high school, and I always felt the worst when I knew I got a call wrong, but I had to stick with it because that was the call on the field. I wish that catchers were able to tap the helmet or the batters were able to tap it and be like, "Hey, you got it wrong. Let's fix it." And the worst was the parents barking at you when you knew you got the call wrong and you know you're wrong, but you can't change it at that point. Otherwise, you're weak and a coward, and both coaches are yelling at you.
Got too much pride.
Exactly. It sucks. So I would have rather seen the calls be right as an umpire, and then that forces me to get better because I don't want to be wrong and embarrassed in front of everyone. But alas, I guess someone has to defend the umpire's pride, and that's Jesse Nelson.
It's literally Jesse, King of the Hill. What is that guy's name in King of the Hill that it looks like?
I think it's Benny Hill. Is it Benny? No, Benny Hill's that's the old Three Stooges music. I don't remember.
And then he also looks like the kid from Up.
Yeah.
That's dead on.
That's a picture that I've taken
Russell.
Russell from that was.
You know that famous picture of Jesse where he's wearing the whatever hats and then or shorts and then his hat's all cocked weird.
I'm
that was
not
a picture
sure.
that I.
Do you happen to have it, Ryan?
I don't
I
have it
guarantee
saved.
that I have it
Sad.
on my phone. I will look because I took this picture of him at the Tundra Trio like probably 8 years ago now. This picture's so old.
It's
It's
a
so
spitting
embarrassing.
image of that Russell kid from
Yeah.
up. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's amazing. But I actually do want to talk about the ABS system, abs. I like to call it abs.
Abs.
So we talked about this yesterday when Josh DiMaggio filled in on our show, and Josh is a huge proponent of it. Like he
Yes.
thinks it adds to the entertainment of it. We listened to some sounders from Eugenio Suarez from the day before, and like the crowd goes wild. It's awesome. But here's my question. Yesterday, Ryan, you just talked about it briefly. Who was it? Bauer?
Yes, Jake
Yep,
Bauer
Jake
when he was
Bauers.
running to first base, and he got called out when it was the most clearly safe
Yeah.
tag of all time. CB Buckner was not even looking.
He wasn't looking at the plate. He
wasn't
stepped
lo-
squarely on first base.
Nothing even close. In fact, okay, I will say I didn't tell you guys about this ahead of time. I do have the video cut.
Oh, excellent.
The still image with Lane Grindo's call, like
Which it's so
picking
it's
it
so-
apart.
So it's so good, but my question is, which we can listen to it because it definitely is fun and it makes listening to baseball really fun to me. But did they have to they had to use a challenge on this?
They did, yes.
Yes.
Okay, see that's the part that I would be bothered by as a baseball fan.
Well, I think you get to retain the challenge if you're right.
You
I
do,
know.
No,
but,
you do,
but let's say
but
it happened
still.
when they didn't have a challenge.
Oh, that'd be brutal.
That's true too.
So
Yeah.
are you suggesting, Molly, that they need to implement the booth review, like the guys in New York can send down
The
to the
sky judge?
umpires
Well, that's
and
what-
say,
that's
like,
kind of like-
initiate a review?
Right. So that's kind of like what it sounds like what the NFL is going to be doing this next year because there's a very real chance that the normal NFL referees are not going to be officiating. So they're getting replacement refs, i.e. 2012. But like it sounds like the NFL, but if I'm understanding this correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like the NFL is saying, okay, since we're bringing in these replacement refs who might not be as good as our starting referees, these guys are bringing in from the bench, right? We're gonna be able to implement from New York that they can they can basically overturn clear and obvious things. So like say a ball, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Say somebody
Yeah, it's like
say Christian Watson caught the ball, but they called him out, but really it's like no, his 2 feet were clearly in. And like New York can say no, he's in. So like to me, like you bring up the point of not having a challenge. Well, then the Brewers get screwed. So
Yes.
I just wonder. That's my only thing with this is I just wonder all of the implications of having challenges and all that kind of stuff where it's like that's not fair for any team to have to use a challenge if it was very clear in the way it was in this instance.
So you think it would be better for baseball to, or let's say next season, ABS is a success. The challenge system has already been a success. You think that baseball should implement the ability for New York or whoever the sky judge to say for a clear and obvious bad call, if a team doesn't have a challenge, they can sort of bail them out. They can jump in.
Potentially, like, I mean, it's tough though because I think the thing that when we talked with Josh yesterday about it, I think the best thing about this system is that it's a quick 10 seconds or whatever it may be. I mean, not in this one from yesterday, and I do want to listen to that audio, but the one from yesterday took forever. So in my mind, it's like, okay, if you did end up bringing in a sky judge or whatever it may be, that's just going to delay the process more, and that's going to make baseball boring.
And then we go back to the old issue of baseball games taking too
Yes.
long, and the implementation of the pitch clock ends up being for naught because they implement all these reviews and everything like that. That would be a concern. But I wouldn't hate it. I don't think I'd hate it if they brought in a sky judge. But ultimately, I think the system right now is fine. You have, I believe it's 2 challenges. Or is it just one?
You have
Ryan,
two.
do you know?
I think you have 2 ABS challenges, and you retain them with each correct overturn.
Yes, that's for
Talked about
ABS. But
yesterday.
what about challenges for plays on the field?
I think it's the same rule. I want to
Yeah,
say,
it's 2?
I think you have separate challenge, and it's separate it's separate number for each. I'm pretty sure. I think you have 2 ABS challenges, and you have 2 just regular challenges.
So I think then I don't even think you need to add the sky judge, or I don't think you need to add any extra reviews. If the team uses 2 challenges and gets them wrong, whereas so they don't have them left, it's like you don't deserve. Then the bad call against you, that's on you. You shouldn't have wasted 2 challenges. So I think 2 challenges is fine. I love the ABS system, similar to what Josh was saying yesterday. It's quick, it's efficient, it makes sure that egregious calls are correct, or even it just makes sure that calls are correct, and I appreciate that.
That crawl yesterday was like egregious, though.
Yes, it was awful. It was
All right, let's
really
hear it,
bad.
Ryan.
Yeah, I was about to say, Josh Mauer and Lane Grindle had even harsher thoughts than that, Molly. Let's go ahead and listen to what they had to say on yesterday's call right here on 100.5 ESPN.
He was directly in the middle of first base.
This is a waste of everybody's time. CB Buckner, man, that's a bad one. That is the Homer Simpson meme when he backs back into the bush. Like that's CB Buckner when he sees the replay right here. I mean, Jake Bowers is laughing hysterically at first base. I mean, CB Buckner has wasted all of our time here. Challenges are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Shout out to Pella Windows and Doors.
I thought they were trying to say he turned towards second base, which he didn't do that either.
Yeah, the challenge last night took like 3 minutes.
I mean,
That's insane.
if he laid on first base, he wouldn't have touched more of it. And why is this taking so long, by the way? Why is this taking so long? Is the internet down in New York?
Another concern if you had the Sky Judge.
After review, he's safe. The call's overturned. Milwaukee retains their challenge.
You know
How did that
what's
take
fabulous about
60 seconds? We had a courier pigeon that brought the news back to us tonight. This is the most obvious overturn I've ever seen in a baseball game in my life.
I love that the ESPN Wisconsin app was right behind him. Did you notice
Great.
that?
Yes. You see it on
Our
every
branding for that? It's
every game
amazing.
on Brewers TV, Brewers.tv. You see the ESPN Wisconsin app all over AmFam Field. It's wonderful.
That is so awesome. That's absolutely insane. Like Riley, you actually, I think, said it before of just like, you calling Little League games, how if you get the call wrong, you're like, oh, God, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
And just how they were saying, like, it's like the Homer Simpson meme. That's literally what it is. That's so embarrassing. But also, if you're him and, like, that's what you're known for, does he almost play into it? I just found out about this guy yesterday. Like, legit. I didn't even know this was, like, a huge thing. But, like, I found out about him yesterday. And if he's this big of a problem, like, you're just leaning into it at this point, no?
Yeah, maybe that's just his thing now. He knows he's not good, so he just intentionally makes the most egregious calls ever. Maybe he just really loves the attention and wants to put himself in the spotlight. But you can see he's not watching the play. That's got to be rule number 1 of being an umpire is watching the play.
That is
You
crazy.
can see his eyes are looking at the ball that got away from the player. How can you have the audacity to call a player out when you didn't see if they touched the base? My assumption would have been that he did touch the base. So it's just ridiculous. But yeah, that's CB's thing. And unfortunately, he got domed today by a foul tip going on a 100-mile-per-hour pitch from the Miz. Foul tip straight to his mask, and he had to leave the game.
Yeah.
In what was it, the third inning?
Second inning.
Second
It was
inning?
early, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine getting hit. One, getting hit by a baseball. 2, if it hits your mask in the way that it looked like it did hit him, like, does that just rattle your brain?
It
Like,
has to.
literally.
For sure.
I just think about how it feels when you hit a baseball with a bat and it just zings you through your whole body. I can't imagine what that feels like.
Oh, yeah,
No.
I would be shocked if CB Buckner is not concussed.
Yeah, no, he'll probably legitimately be in the concussion protocol and probably not be umping a game for at least like a week, I would think.
Yeah,
Few days,
this
I
has
would-
got
for sure.
to be up there with CB's like worst weeks.
It's bad.
At least in his professional life. This
Yeah.
is
It's
pretty
only the
rough.
first week of baseball.
I know.
But he had a terrible game. I believe it was a Red Sox
It was
game.
that Reds game again with Eugenio Suarez, where we listened to the calls yesterday. Molly referenced it. Eugenio correctly overturned back-to-back pitches, and then that Red Sox game where I think they charged him with like 26 missed calls.
Yeah, like it's been I think this is an awakening. This is a good reckoning for CB Buckner. He's going to come back from this concussion or whatever he's dealing with, and he's going to be a stronger, better umpire. Baseball will be better for this.
Okay,
That's my spin.
That's aggressive. Big Papa, it was not me that said that. That was Riley, not me. Does he get in trouble for like 26 missed calls? Because I feel like if something like that happened again, I like to compare baseball to NFL terms just so I can understand a little bit better. If something like that happened in the NFL, a referee would be like suspended for
you
games.
get demoted. I would
Yeah.
assume. I actually saw Colin Cowherd had this take earlier today after seeing that missed call that we just watched there. That if coaches and players can be fired and released for bad performances, why is it not the same for umpires? And I totally agree with that. Why, if you are awful at your job, this is supposed to be the best of the best. There should be relegation and demotion. If you have that awful of a game, the best umpire in AAA, he should get called up and take your job, and you should have to go serve some time down in AAA and try and work your way back up. I think that's fair and reasonable to assume. So we have the best of the best. And I think ABS may provide us with that.
Almost reminds me of Luke Fickell,
Yeah.
Riley. I want to talk about him next in this Badger football program. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Bucky by a billion.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, a WBA award finalist for Wisconsin's best radio show.
It's good for your TikTok, though. The ladies love Jim Rutledge on TikTok.
Yeah, what are your what are your numbers on TikTok, Jim?
It's like
50 plus.
Yeah.
50 to 65.
80%, 50 to 65, yeah.
I'm huge in retirement homes.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
This is Jim, Matt, Molly. I'm Molly Brown in our Milwaukee studios. Riley Jauch is in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar studios, along with primetime Ryan Wollersheim behind the glass. 844-770-3776. That is your way into the show. That's the Carbos Talking text line. Liz is more. Unnamed in the 715. Send us in your name, too, so we can give you some better credit. He says, not discrediting the Brewers at all. Love the team, and I'm a huge fan, especially recently when it's so fun to watch. But you cannot deny the Packers are much bigger in Wisconsin. That referring back to our conversation earlier in the show, which if you missed, you can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app. But that is basically Riley saying that he would give up
Hey, I'm just
5
saying,
years
let
of
me
Packers
read
playoff
you some
championship.
comments from our poll on the
God.
ESPN Madison Twitter page. First, Matt Dawson. I'd be fine with the Packers relocating or folding for a Brewers World Series. Then we have I eat chickens. Considering,
Okay, can you trust them?
Yes, I can. I trust this guy. Considering the payroll mountain, all caps, that the crew has to climb year after year, a Brewers World Series victory would be like the Packers winning 3 in a row. Dude, I'd weep if the Brewers ever won the series. No question.
I'm sorry that the Brewers, they're in a league that they don't have a salary cap, so literally nobody is saying that they can't spend money.
That's why I didn't use that. That's why I didn't use that argument. That's not my argument. That was I eat chickens argument.
I understand, but still, kind of a dumb argument when it's literally the one sport that you might be able to buy yourself a championship in is baseball, and they don't do it. Now, I get it. They don't have the money of the Dodgers or anything like that. I'm not saying that they should, but it's like the Packers don't have infinite amounts of money that they can just spend and spend and spend with no repercussions. But the Brewers, you have the opportunity to spend more money. You just don't.
Well, they don't have an owner that wants to spend unlimited money. And they are also in the smallest market in Major League Baseball. Like, if you compare the money the Brewers made $20 million a year with their previous regional TV network, $20 million a year. The Dodgers, just with their TV revenue, because they got a sweetheart deal with Major League Baseball, made $144 million just from TV revenue. It's absurd. So it's not the same. It's not even the same playing field. I didn't use that argument, but I respect that I eat chickens. Brought
you
it up.
respect his argument.
Yeah, I do, because it's just another thing. Never won one. It'd be a massive mountain to climb. I think it would mean a ton for the state. I think I would gladly trade 5 years of the Packers missing the playoffs for a Brewers World title.
Yeah, you're crazy. Anyways, so I do want to talk about vibes of the other teams in the state. Okay, so clearly Brewers vibes are high.
Very much so.
Okay, and this conversation comes from earlier this week. Jesse Nelson joined our show. He filled in for Jim and Matt, and he basically said that the Packers have the lowest vibes in his eyes out of all the teams in the state.
What was his argument?
So his argument, and this also, mind you, this came out before all of the Ed policy comments came out yesterday. This was after Monday, or this was on Monday when Matt LaFleur made the comments about not talking to Rich Bisaccia since he left. Rich Bisaccia left him a list of names for special teams coordinators that they could potentially hire.
There's also the unhappy players news.
Yes. So in Jesse's mind, he feels like every single thing that we have talked about when it comes to the Packers this season, this offseason, has been negative. So the other things that he mentioned, and Ryan, fill in the blanks here if I'm forgetting some. He talked about Jonathan Gannon not speaking to the media yet, which who cares? He's only saying that because he's only saying that because Jason wants to talk to Jonathan Gannon, which I understand. That's important for Jason's job. Jesse's job, he's only mad because Jason's mad. Okay. Number 2, Matt LaFleur hasn't really spoken to the media up until this owners weekend or owners meetings in Arizona. What were some other things?
I feel like he talks about all the players that had left, the grades, the negative grades, just ending the season on back-to-back losses to the Bears. Yeah. And really, he was using most of anecdotal evidence of fans calling and texting into Willie and Tausch being they're pretty mad, guys. I don't know.
Okay.
They're pretty upset.
Also, fans are prime. Willie and Tausch fans are Packer
they're
fans.
Packers fans. If he was the producer for a Milwaukee Bucks show,
yes.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to have to see what Justin Garcia reads night in and night out.
Exactly. So we did end up doing a poll of I can't even remember what the exact wording was, but it was basically which team in the state has the lowest vibes, and obviously everybody pretty much voted for the Milwaukee Bucks, which is what I said.
Yeah.
But if we take out the Milwaukee Bucks, that's the obvious answer after they missed the playoffs, blundered Giannis's career here, essentially, have screwed themselves for the next God knows how many years. Let's take them out. So the other teams that we have to choose from, obviously the Brewers, their vibes are high, so we can't. There's no argument to be made there.
Yep.
Second one, Packers, and 3, the Badger football program. And I am completely different than you, Riley.
Yes.
You are a Badgers diehard.
100%.
I support the Badgers. I am a UW alum. I want them to do well sometimes. Not really a fan of Fickell or McIntosh. So when they kind of suck, I'm like, okay.
See, and that's the thing. Well, I'll let you finish here in a second. But I think I like Fickell. I want him to succeed. But I think a lot of fans in the state of Wisconsin, a lot of diehard Badgers fans, like we were talking about being able to relate to Pat Murphy and Matt LaFleur, I don't think, and I think this is mostly because fans haven't heard from him. They don't know him a ton. They can't relate to Luke Fickell. He's an Ohio State guy. He's not one of us, quote unquote. So they can't relate to him. So they don't like him. So they don't have success on the field, and it looks like he's blowing everything up. They don't like him.
That's also I understand that he's from the state of whatever. He came from Ohio, all the things. I get that, but that is also part of the issue with Luke Fickell is his job so much relies on him being out in the community and being out in the city of Madison and actually making a name for yourself outside, doing things in the community to raise money and all the different things, because nobody's saying that about Greg Gard. Greg Gard does things in the community.
Yes.
And I get it. He's been here for how long? That part you can't really compare.
That's from Cobb, Wisconsin. He knows.
Yes, Luke Fickell has also been here for now, what is this, going on his 4th year?
Yep, this will be his 4th
Okay.
season.
He's, in my mind, he should have made a bigger impact thus far.
That's fair. And I don't disagree that the changes and the reasons for optimism that I gave on Saturday Scramble, which, to quickly run through them, one, hiring Brady Ewing. Me and Pablo just talked to him today. Further confirms that it was a great hire. Former Badgers fullback, walk-on at Wisconsin from Richland Center. Dude is the quintessential Wisconsin Badger. He's the perfect guy to connect alumni to the current program, and he really likes Fickell and is confident in him. So that was number 1. Then number 2, we got confirmation from Pete Nakis of On 3 from On 3 that the Badgers spent a ton of money and outbid several major players in the transfer portal this year. That was very uplifting for myself. And number 3, Luke Fickell either has commits or crystal ball 100% from the top 8 of the top 10 recruits in the state of Wisconsin for the future.
But I feel like since he got here, we have been excited every single offseason. When there's big
fair.
transfers
I'm not
that come
gonna
in,
argue with that.
there's big signings, there's all the things, and it doesn't prove to be anything. And I think that falls back on him. So, while it's exciting that they're spending money, great. You should have been spending money this entire time. You shouldn't be so far behind in the NIL.
Yes.
So it's I understand being excited about the financial aspect of it and being excited that they might be spending their money in a positive way. But I like we heard in the open of the show, I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to this program. There is nothing that this program can do right now in the offseason to make me excited about it. I just simply do not care what they do until they start putting W's on the board.
That is totally fair. And I do not fault you or any other fan that at this point, 3 years in, is saying that Luke Fickell and company have to prove it. Personally, I am obviously an optimist. I want to see them succeed. I am looking for reasons to be excited and get myself excited. But it's also, I don't think it's that difficult. When you spend money and you look at the past, let's go back. Let's look at the past 3 seasons. Luke Fickell has not had a starting quarterback for almost every single game.
I don't know how he's gotten so unlucky every single year. That is crazy. I do give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the quarterback.
Yes, I'd like to see just one season where the quarterback he wanted to start the season plays all 12 games and finishes. And I think his biggest mistake, which I think he would admit this was a mistake, I am not going to argue this whatsoever. Hiring Phil Longo was the dumbest thing he did when he came to the University of Wisconsin. That made no sense. Everyone thought it would fail, at least the smart people. Myself, along with other Badgers fans, we thought it'd be awesome. We thought it'd be able to mesh and marry. It clearly could not. So I was very wrong, very dumb when it came to that. That was a big mistake. But then you look at last year, too. They ended the season with 2 ranked wins. Obviously, you lay an egg against Minnesota. That hurt. That sucked. I was very angry and frustrated at that loss. You couldn't have that. But they showed that even when they were severely outmanned, they could beat ranked opponents. They could beat teams that were in the upper echelon of the Big Ten. So I don't think that Luke Fickell's a bad coach. I don't think from Cincinnati to Wisconsin, he just forgot how to coach. And it looks to me that after this past season, they wiped the slate clean, essentially. They are giving him more money. They are connecting the current team to the past, to the alumni, and they are recruiting well in the state of Wisconsin. Because I don't know how, if you're all these very talented D1 recruits in the state of Wisconsin for football with offers from the Penn States of the world, the Tennessees, the Alabamas, the Notre Dames, why are you choosing to come to Wisconsin if you're not buying what Luke Fickell is selling, if you're not sold on the vision of the program? It seems to me that they have a direction and a confidence moving forward that they didn't have previously. And Brady Ewing, one more tease for our interview with him tomorrow. We asked him what stood out to him about Luke Fickell. What gave him confidence to come back and do this job? And he said it's the intangibles. He watches practice. He sees anyone can do the drills. They can go through the motions. But he loves Luke Fickell's energy. He loves the coaching staff's energy. And he loves how the guys approach the game. So it seems to me that they have the guys they want on this team. They spent the money to get those guys, and the system in place is much more set up for success moving forward.
I'm sure we all look forward to hearing that conversation on the Jump Around tomorrow at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. Remember, you can always stream that every single week, every Thursday. You can hear the Jump Around typically with Jim Rutledge. But Riley Jauch, you're filling in, I'm assuming?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the entire
Myself
episode.
and Pablo Iglesias.
Awesome.
I don't even know who Jim Rutledge is.
Same. Looking forward to hearing that tomorrow. But Riley, we do have to kick you out because it's time for Minute to Win It.
Oh, boy. All right.
Brian?
Correct. Riley,
Perfect.
get out of there.
All right.
I'm
talk
excited
to you guys
be
in
on
a
this
sec.
end. Okay. You can't go in the office because then you can hear the speaker. So make
I was
sure
going
he
to say,
leaves.
Molly, have you ever done it where you're filling in Jim's role here, where you're setting the over-under, you're taking the callers, you're not the one actually being quizzed in Minute to Win It? Is this the first time you've been on this end of it?
I think like one time I've done it.
Yeah, I think you and Matt might have. Yeah, I think you did it with Matt, and he was on the hot seat having to guess alone.
Because Matt loves a good game.
He does. Matt loves games. Matt loves nothing more than games.
All right, so what is our category?
So, Riley is our Big Badgers fan, our Big Badgers expert. He's through the
gosh.
roof, especially about one of those things we talked about on Monday with Jesse, the in-state recruiting class for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Oh, God.
Currently, of the
be
top
brutal
10
at this.
in-state recruits for the class of 2027, 8 of them are either committed or projected to commit to Wisconsin. How many of them do you think Riley can name in a minute or less?
He's going to be able to name them all, like literally.
I believe he rattled all of them off on the Saturday Scramble this past weekend, so you might be right. But could he do it on the spot without researching it, without looking at it ahead of time? Doesn't know this is coming.
How many is there?
There's 8 of the 10 players. So
Can we do 7.5? Like legit. I think he's going to get all 8.
I think for Riley, for the standard for Riley, yeah, we should put it at 7.5. Why not?
If he's as big of a Badger fan that he says he is, then
True.
he can get all 8.
Okay, and let's go callers 8 and 10 in that case.
All right. Callers number 8 and 10. This is your chance to win a gift card to North and South. No loser in this, so if you pick the over or under, then you get a $50 gift card to North and South, and then if you pick the opposite, then you get a $25 gift card to our good friends at North and South. 844-770-3776. Callers number 8 and 10, you win a North and South gift card no matter what. 844-770-3776. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Molly Brown in the Milwaukee studios. Riley Jauch is... Oh, my God, you guys, I'm stuttering through this. Riley Jauch is in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios, while primetime Ryan Wollersheim is behind the glass. And it is time now for Minute to Win It.
Will they beat the odds
I say everything with pure confidence, whether I think I'm totally right or not.
or crumble under pressure?
I legitimately know one of these. I legitimately have one.
This is the Minute to Win It.
So, Riley, I listen to Saturday Scramble every Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan. And I heard you, once again, defending Badgers football passionately on that program as well. And there was one stat you mentioned that really stuck out to me. I'm going to quiz you on it today, see if you remember. You mentioned on the show on Saturday that of the top 10 in-state recruits in the class of 2027,
great.
8 of them are either committed or projected to commit to Wisconsin. How many of those players can you name in 1 minute or less? Your timer starts now.
All right, we got Kingston Allen.
Kingston Allen, he's the number 1 recruit in the state.
Cole Ryder, just committed.
Cole Ryder of Germantown, he's also number 3 in the state.
See, those might be the only two.
No way.
See, it sucks. I was just looking at this list on Saturday, but I wasn't really paying attention to the names. I was more of just scanning to see the W's
Box score hero,
on the
Molly.
side.
Box score
of
hero.
on
I
three.
know, little Matt Hamilton in you. My God.
I know I'm being exposed right now. Cole Ryder, Kingston Allen. I'm trying to think of the high schools they're from. We have... Man, I feel foolish. Now, and Ryan's going to read all these names back, and I'm going to be like, oh, of course. And no one's going to believe me that I knew them.
The fact that you know even 2 is really impressive, I'll be honest.
See, and I could tell you the other 2 are committed to Northwestern and Notre Dame because I saw the I was just looking for the logos. Great. No, I genuinely think those are the only 2 I got in the old repertoire.
I actually feel really bad.
The over-under was pretty high.
Yeah.
I set the over-under really high.
I appreciate the confidence. And I apologize, especially if the first caller picked the over. I feel really bad.
Andy and Barneville took the under, don't worry.
Okay.
It was over under 7.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
Andy and Barneveld, I don't fault you for doubting me.
And congrats, you get a $50 gift card to North and South.
Gosh, we might have just killed Riley's Badger fandom.
I mean, yeah, I literally said
No,
if Riley is the fan that he says he is and pretends to be, then he's gonna be able to get all of the people.
That's what I'm saying. He might have been exposed.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys
So
have
the
a
other
subscription
names.
to the Badgers 247 message board? Didn't think so.
I
Not
don't
the
have a subscription
message
to any of
Badger
that because
Extra.
who the hell
Badger
wants
Extra,
that?
yes. Badger
Who
Extra, I
wants
do.
that? Literally.
Me. I want to keep a pulse on Badgers fans, so I
Do you
follow the
expense
message
that?
board.
God, I hope you do.
No, I don't expense much. There's a lot of stuff I have to pay
And
for
I will
myself.
say, if you're not somebody who wants to pay
Riley.
for those subscriptions either, you should just listen to Jump Around every Thursday with Jim Rutledge, Pablo Iglesias,
we break
and
it all
Riley
down
Jauch
for you.
behind the glass. But
We pay for it so you don't have to.
yes, but maybe tomorrow they'll be breaking down the top 10 in-state recruits, 8 of which either committed or projected to commit to the Badgers. So Riley got Kingston Allen, the running back from Notre Dame Academy. He's currently projected to commit to Wisconsin.
Oh, I should have gotten Coors.
Loken, a tight end from Iola, Scandinavia.
Coors, like C-O-O-R-S?
K-O-R-Z, actually.
Oh my gosh. I'm so mad. See, I knew I'd be mad. I should have gotten at least 5. I should have
What a
gotten.
great NIL deal. Can athletes do alcohol?
No, they cannot. I'm pretty sure that's one of their... Alcohol and gambling, I believe they are
That
not
would
allowed
have
to
been
sell.
so
in
good
NIL
if they
deals
had a
for.
Coors Light sponsorship.
That would have been amazing.
That would rock. I should have gotten 5 of these.
Oh my gosh! And literally, just as we're speaking, since this segment started, one of the names on this list just officially committed to Wisconsin. That would be Hunter Mallinger, the interior offensive lineman from Hamilton.
Hey, Sussex.
Previously projected 100% to commit to UW. Within the last 5 minutes, he just actually committed on Twitter.
Hey, let's go, Hunter Mallinger.
Let's
I wonder
go.
if he's listening to Minute to Win It.
Another Badger.
That would be hilarious. But then the two...
Let Fickell cook.
The 5th and 6th ranked players are currently committed to play elsewhere. That is Richie Flanagan from Notre Dame Academy, actually committed to play for Notre Dame University. And then Cole Rikowski, interior offensive lineman, committed to play for Northwestern. And then the bottom 4, Isaac Miller is the 7th ranked player in the state.
We talked to him on the jump around.
Yep.
Come on, Iron Jock.
Yeah,
right?
Iron Jock athlete.
It's
yes.
embarrassing. I
Yes.
crumbled under pressure. This
Then,
is bad.
Right below him is another Waukesha Catholic Memorial player, Dustin Roach, a safety committed to play for UW.
I don't think I would have gotten him. I did call one of his games this year, though, so also sad.
And then right below him is Ethan McIntosh.
Ethan McIntosh. I watched
Chris
him at the
McIntosh's kid.
individual state wrestling tournament, too.
I believe that is Chris McIntosh's
Did he
son.
commit to go to Wisconsin?
He's fully committed to Wisconsin. It'd be kind of weird if he didn't commit to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like if he was a D1 athlete and he's like, I'm going to go to Baylor
Wouldn't that be
instead.
hilarious, though?
That would be pretty
Yeah,
bad.
He's like, I'm going to go to Iowa instead.
That would be bad. But yes, and then Reese Mallinger, who I guess must be Hunter's brother.
Yeah, also officially. He wasn't official on Saturday.
He wasn't.
He wasn't officially committed.
Are they twins?
I would assume.
Maybe.
Because they both go to Sussex
Yeah,
Hamilton.
they're both in the class of 2027.
And they're in the
They
same
gotta be.
class.
And they're both interior offensive linemen. That's going to be confusing.
So that is 7.
That's wild.
7
That's
of the
awesome.
top 10 recruits in the state of Wisconsin are fully committed to UW, and Kingston Allen, number 1, is 100% crystal ball. It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time, Riley Jauch says. Maybe he'll finally learn his name.
Yeah, I got Kingston Allen.
You did get Kingston.
I got Kingston Allen.
Yeah, Kingston and Cole Reeder. Those are the two big
that
ones.
Was sad. That was an abysmal abomination of a performance.
What NFL player do I keep confusing him with in my mind?
Kingston
Something
Allen?
K. Allen. K. Allen.
Kingston Allen.
Plays for the Chargers.
Keenan
What's his
Allen.
first- Keenan Allen.
the wide
Allen,
receiver.
yes.
That's his first name.
Former
Okay.
Bear, too, yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's why you know him.
Of course, I can pull that. I can pull Keenan Allen, but I can't pull the Mallinger brothers.
Come on, the twins.
What kind of a fan am I?
Future
what kind,
Wisconsin
what kind of
O-line.
journalist am I?
Yeah, no kidding. What's
You're a
wrong with you,
journalist, Riley?
I dabble. I graduated.
It's one of your side hustles?
Yeah, I graduated from the School of Journalism and Mass Communication here at
Good
the
for you. I
fine
couldn't
University
get in.
of Wisconsin, Madison.
I applied
Well,
like
I'm
3
sorry.
times and I couldn't get in.
Well,
Cool.
I'm not a journalist, so it's fine. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We're presented by Coors Light.
This is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by the Jump Around, a Badgers dedicated show. Tune into Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel for all things Wisconsin Badgers. Tomorrow's special guest, new Badgers recruiting alumni aficionado, I would say, Brady Ewing. Speaking to our Badgers aficionado Riley Jauch, currently hosting on Jim, Matt, and Molly this afternoon. Make sure to tune in tomorrow on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. And then earlier today, the Brewers won in their rubber game versus the Tampa Bay Rays 8-2 this afternoon. They broke the game open with a 6-run outburst in the bottom of the 8th inning, which was started by this 2 RBI single from Christian Yelich.
Jacks the 0-1 pitch. Chopper, right side. It's going to sneak through and into right field for a base hit. Ortiz is in. Terang streaking around third. He will score. A 2-run single from the captain, Christian Yelich. He's still that guy. And the Brewers lead it 4-2.
The Brewers start the season at 5-1, and they'll be back at it this Friday on the road versus the Kansas City Royals. And then the Bucks back in action tonight, taking on the Houston Rockets, 7 p.m. tip-off right here on 1.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's
let
gonna
me get
swing
this
on
right.
Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Do you have a ton of faith in Badgers football right now?
You shouldn't open in their season at Lambeau Field against
seriously.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame,
I'm looking at their
Penn
schedule
State.
right now. Penn State, Michigan State, UCLA, USC, Iowa, Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is seriously a program of I will believe it when I see it.
As long as Fickell has success this year with an easier schedule, there is no reason not to trust Wisconsin Badgers football team moving forward.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Riley Jauch, here's Molly Brown.
It is hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly. I'm Molly Brown here in the ESPN Milwaukee studios, actually in the 620 WTMJ studio in Milwaukee. Riley Jauch is filling in for Jim and Matt. They are both out this week doing fun stuff, traveling the world. I don't know. So he is in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. Primetime Ryan Wollersheim is behind the glass in Madison as well. So we talked about bad vibes earlier in today's show. We said that the obvious one, the easiest answer for the state of Wisconsin is the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's actual factual.
So I was just scrolling on my phone in the last break, and I was watching the ESPN Milwaukee Instagram stories. And I was shocked to see that Chris Middleton was on the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. I found that out. I was producing the Bucks conflict broadcast on Tuesday night. I was in here from 6 p.m. to
yesterday.
10 p.m. That was oh my gosh. Wow, it's only Wednesday. Why it feels like a Thursday.
It does. I wish it was.
Man, okay. So yesterday I was in the office in the studio from 6 to 10 because we had the Brewers on our air, so we bumped the Bucks off, and I had to make sure it was still all good to go and whatnot. And I had no idea until I listened to the pregame show that Chris Middleton was on the Dallas Mavericks. They were like, he had the opportunity if the Mavericks won last night, which somehow the Bucks handled business in dominant fashion. Did not
Probably
expect
because the
that.
Mavs suck too? No, I don't know.
Yeah,
the Mavs
the Mavs had lost 6 of 7 coming into it. I think now it's 7 of 8. But Chris Middleton had the chance to beat the Bucks 4 times this year.
Wow, that's crazy.
How often do you see that?
When did this trade or whatever, however he got to the Mavs, when did that happen? Do you have any idea?
No clue.
Ryan?
Yes, that would have been right before the trade deadline because he was included. It was like a 3-team trade with the Wizards and the Hawks. It's the trade that sent Anthony Davis to the Wizards. I don't remember what all the transactions were, but Chris Middleton ended up in Dallas along with is it AJ Johnson, the Bucks draft pick from 2 years ago? The 160 pounds.
Wait, he's not on the Bucks anymore?
6'5" guy. No, he got traded with Chris in the Kyle Kuzma trade.
Oh, do you know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of AJ Green. Right?
No, AJ Green is still on the Bucks.
He's still on the Bucks. The Dairy Bird.
I was like, there's no way.
He's had a rough year, but he's still in Milwaukee along with the other sad Bucks.
Yeah.
How many more games of the season are there? Oh, Madison.
Too many.
Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball too.
I mean, not enough.
I mean, you're primarily going to be hearing Brewers
they
games.
They have 7 games left in the regular season, so 7 games left in the Bucks season.
Is Giannis still trying to play, or has he been officially shut down and told, like, no?
I mean, as far as I know, he would still want to play. I believe the Bucks still don't want him to play. The latest things that we've heard from Doc Rivers dating back to last weekend, I think he also might have said this on Sunday or Monday, is that Giannis still has not been medically cleared, I guess, by the Bucks doctors. Who I imagine until the end of the season we'll keep telling him you have not been
medically cleared.
Yeah, I would think. But yeah, we saw the message from the NBA Players Association saying that when he's healthy, he's supposed to play. So the Bucks are probably going to jump through whatever hoop they have to in order to make sure that until the end of the season, he's not officially healthy. So,
if you guys had to pick right now on the spot, where is Giannis going to be playing next year?
It's a good question.
Not Milwaukee. I'll say that with certainty. Yeah. It's. I mean,
there was a stretch. There was a stretch where I was convinced that the Bucks were going to be able to figure something out. I think that was during that random what was it, 10 to 15 game stretch where they were winning without Giannis. And it was like, okay, it looks like they have some good young pieces here. They bring back Giannis. John Horst actually has a good draft, and maybe we're cooking with a little something. But now all hope seems lost with another year of Giannis and the Bucks. So I agree with Ryan. Somewhere that isn't Milwaukee, I am not in tuned to the world of the National Basketball Association enough to know who would swoop him up and pay the exorbitant amount of money and trade capital that the Bucks would be looking for. But what, Golden State potentially, the Miami Heat?
I was going to say Miami is where I could see him going.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, though, to be honest.
I know the Atlanta Hawks
not
are still
Milwaukee.
floated out. Yeah, it's not Milwaukee. And the thing is that from everything I've heard since the trade deadline when the Bucks chose to retain Giannis and not give him up to the Warriors or the Heat.
Which I'm glad they didn't do that.
Well, apparently it seems like the trade market might be a little less than it was
go down?
at the trade deadline this summer.
Shocking.
So just because I don't think there's as many teams with enough like assets to make a
Really?
deal like that. Now, who knows? I mean, if a team wants Giannis enough, they'll find a way to make it happen. And NBA trades are tough, so you got to find a team that can like match all the salaries and stuff. But there are probably a couple teams out there that there's maybe not as many bidders as there had been before. So the compensation for the Bucks might not be as strong as it once would have been.
Wow. I just want it to be known that I've been right about Giannis this entire time. I've been right about the Milwaukee Bucks blundering this entire thing the entire time. I've said it numerous times. Giannis has annoyed the crap out of me for the last probably year and a half, and they should have cut their losses when they had the chance. And now that you're saying that the value of Giannis is going down, can't say I'm surprised. That's all I
was right.
Thank you.
The value of Giannis going down, that hurts. Because if you're going to trade the man who has been the franchise cornerstone for over a decade and brought Milwaukee a championship, you want to be who's still not that far removed from the height of his powers, if not still at the peak. You'd like to see the Bucks get an absolutely massive haul in return for him. And while I'm not going to go to your level, I'm not going to fully jump on board that the Giannis has been awful for the past year and a half, and
Not
he's screwed
awful,
over
just
the Bucks.
he's been annoying for the last year and a half. He's bothered me for the last year and a half, and has been working towards screwing the Bucks over for the last year and a half.
But that's the thing. We talked about championships. That was how he led off the show. Giannis Antetokounmpo brought Milwaukee and the Bucks a championship. So I am okay with him being a little bit of a diva, being a little bit of a superstar.
See, here's the thing: is I think he got so much grace because I think Aaron Rodgers did the exact same. Like, now, granted, he had different things and made us dislike him in different ways, but like Aaron Rodgers did his own things where he was toying with the fans and toying with the franchise of, it might be my last year, I might come back, blah, blah, blah. Like, he strung everybody along, and I think Giannis was doing the same thing, but the problem with Giannis, and I think what actually made it worse, was that then he would try to pretend like he wasn't doing that, and it's like, dude, just own it up, just own up to it, and just say, hey, you know what, I want to win more championships. I don't know if that's going to be in Milwaukee. Would I love to stay in Milwaukee? Sure, yeah, I'd love to be one of those guys that could have their entire career in one city. But I also want to win championships, and that might not be in Milwaukee. And I'm good saying that. But my problem with him was that he would always, and he still, even now, I feel like, denies that he's said those things where it's like, just own up to it. If you're going to say it, don't keep walking back what you're saying. You know what I mean? That's where my problem with Giannis is.
Yeah,
and it's also a problem with the Milwaukee Bucks, too, where it's like, you should have sacked up and you should have figured, like, I get it. You want to keep Giannis, and you don't want to be the bad guy here. And I think that's what it all comes back to, is neither party wants to be the bad guy in this situation. But, like, you should have just figured out what was best for your franchise, and maybe that was trading away Giannis.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And I think with Giannis, with that mentality, I'm not sure if he knew. And to your point, he could have just admitted, I'm not sure. But you can tell loyalty means so much to him. He wants to be loyal to Milwaukee. He wants to be loyal to Bucks fans in particular, I think. And he, like you said, he doesn't want to make people mad or look like the bad guy. But I'm not sure if he knew. if he's known this entire time. Like, I feel like he's been back and forth. So I'm going to continue to give Giannis a little bit of grace.
That was your Bucks Minute on Jim, Matt, and Molly. And now I want to tell you about Bucks and 6, from the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every single Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you miss any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provide game recaps every morning after. You can hear the high-flying dunks, not from Giannis, or the deep threes from Miles Turner, and catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts, including the ESPN Wisconsin app. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
This is Martin Selsaker from Norway. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Holly on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Madison College is where your next chapter starts. So whether you're looking to level up your career, learn a new skill, or transfer to a 4-year university, Madison College has flexible programs that fit your life. I did just that. I got my 2-year, I did my associate's degree at Madison College. Then I transferred over to UW-Madison, and it was the best decision I could have made for my education. They have hands-on training and affordable tuition, and you can get where you want to go faster. Explore your future today at madisoncollege.edu. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. I'm Molly Brown. I am in our Milwaukee studios. Riley Jauch and Primetime Ryan Wollersheim are in Madison, in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. It is April Fool's Day today, you guys. We haven't even talked about this. I don't know if that becomes a thing that you stop celebrating, quote unquote, when you turn 10. I don't know.
I haven't celebrated it in quite some time, personally.
Yeah. And even then, I feel like I did one prank in my life, and that's really it. Otherwise, it's not really my thing. I'm just a funny, cool person as it is. I don't need a day to tell me to do. It
just comes naturally, so
exactly.
It's just easy.
But we were sending some different... Well, actually, not us. I saw some in other group chats that I know that we are all a part of in terms of ESPN Madison teammates and whatnot here, of different graphics and different things being sent around. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Crush It or Can It, and we're going to essentially decide which ones we like and which ones we don't like, Ryan. Which pranks?
That is correct. We're either crushing it if we think we like it, and we're canning it if we don't. So let's get to Crush It or Can It.
If it's yes, then crush it.
Those mountains are blue.
If it's a no, then can it.
Oh, my God.
It smells like a skunk.
It really does.
It's time for Crush It or Can It.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily even call these pranks anymore. I think people just feed into the joke on social media, which is most of what we're going to get here. It's just a lot of social media posts that are just trying to be funny. So it's really more if you just think this is actually funny or just corny like most of these jokes. So first of all, speaking of corny, we have one here from the World Curling Twitter account of Matt Hamilton.
Nice.
Big announcement, guys. He's going on Dancing with the Stars. Did you know that? Molly, were you aware? Riley, did you know? Matt Hamilton Dancing with the Stars?
I didn't know this,
see it.
Honestly, he would be great on Dancing with the Stars if we're being honest. So I kind of hope that that's his next big venture that he does in his career. But what makes this even more so is Matt shared this on his Instagram story, and this does look legit.
Yeah, it's a very well done poster, and you can tell at least his head on the tuxedo body with the curling broom that it's Photoshop. It's not AI. Maybe parts of it, maybe the background's AI, but it's Photoshop. And I appreciate the fact that a human put the effort in to create that because it looks pretty solid.
So it's got his shoes too, his cool shoes that he wore in the last Olympics.
See, that took skill.
Yeah.
That took effort to create. So I'm crushing it. I'm not a fan of, I haven't been a fan of most of the April Fool's Day posts I've seen, but I'm crushing that one. I like it.
Molly?
I'll crush it too. I like it.
All right, we got back-to-back crushes on that one. All right, guys, we'll keep it rolling. We're actually going to keep it here in Madison as well. So we know that a lot of the pro sports teams like to put out these April Fool's posts as well, try to catch their fans sleeping. Forward Madison, right across the street here from the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios, they're getting new turf put on their field right now, so that's why they actually aren't playing many games in Madison currently. So they put out a nice, funny little post saying that they're actually converting the turf to hardwood since it is the end of March. Yeah, so it is a giant basketball court covering the field that would be at Breeze Stevens Field. Guys, crush it or can it? Is this funny or is this going a little too far on April Fool's Day?
I mean, it's not going too far. It's just kind of lame. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not inappropriate. It doesn't invoke really any emotion in me whatsoever. It's okay.
Yeah, I will say there's not a lot of emotion. I did see this one because I do follow Forward. And I gave it a little bit of a chuckle. But it wasn't enough of a chuckle to screenshot and send it to my husband, who's a major Forward Madison FC fan. But now that I'm looking at it right now on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, which remember you can always stream us on ESPN Madison YouTube. This kind of looks legit though.
The reflection is well done.
It almost gives me vibes of, I don't know if you guys play 2K very much, but my husband and our teenagers do. So this almost gives me vibes of the blacktop that you can go play on.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be kind of fun to actually play basketball in a stadium like that.
That would be pretty sick. Like the aircraft carrier when they played there
That
the
was
one
the other thing I was
time.
going to mention, yeah.
I think, they threw out that I believe Villanova and Notre Dame are going to play in Vatican City next year.
Yes.
So maybe play
Interesting.
in the St. Peter's Square. That would be cool. I like outdoor basketball courts, but I think this post is lame, and I'm canning it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think we're all canning that one, unfortunately. Forward tried their best, but
It was an effort.
they kind of went backwards on this one. Speaking of which, speaking of going backwards as well, this is a post that my mom actually got duped by today, guys.
Oh, God.
So this is from State Street Brats. They posted something saying today that they have a new co-owner, that being one Guy Fieri, and now purchased a stake in the State Street Brat House, the famous one here in Madison. My mom sent this to me, and then I actually had to call her to try and explain to her what it was, because she thought that Guy Ferrari had bought a part of State Street Brats in Madison. So
That is so funny.
And of course, it was a link on Facebook that she sent me when she saw it, because everyone on Facebook's getting duped.
And now
Guys,
her credit card also probably got hacked too.
And I will
by
say,
Guy Ferrari.
they put out like an Instagram caption. This one too. It is like the textbook definition of TLDR. Too long didn't read. It was like a full page and a half.
Oh wow.
Like I hope ChatGPT wrote it, because otherwise somebody wasted way too much of their time putting together this Instagram caption. Guys, Riley, I'll start with you. Crush it or cannon on this one?
I'm split, but I'm leaning towards crush it just because I love Guy Fieri, and I think it's hilarious that your mom fell for it. But look at this picture. Could you put it back on the screen, please, briefly? Look at the blur of his face versus the clarity of his arm. It looks like his arms have to be 7 feet long to reach to the table.
And his hands look huge. Like he literally, who's the big giant from Harry Potter?
No, Hagrid.
Hagrid. He literally has Hagrid hands there, but Guy Fieri teeny tiny.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
that is so funny.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm crushing that because it's funny. I like that. I like it.
Molly?
It was creative. I like it too. Crush it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep it, or actually, we'll kick it out of Madison now. We'll actually go to some of the pro sports teams from around the world, the big ones in the NFL, I should say. So, guys, speaking of the rivals here in Wisconsin, the Detroit Lions. There's a post here from Complex Sports saying that they had a new quarterback signing with them, that being Eminem signing a one-day contract with the Detroit Lions. I think we already know Molly's answer on this one. Your candidate.
Well, this is the one that somebody sent in a group chat, and one, I was like, oh, it's April Fool's. I forgot about that. And two, we're just murdering the environment today with all of these ChatGPT pictures. Yes, because also think of how many times that they kicked it into ChatGPT and were like, "Oh, fix this, make it actually look like Eminem." Because I guarantee it didn't spit out an actual Eminem wearing the helmet. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, and the helmet's half on, but he still has a hat on too.
No, I didn't even notice that.
This is the lowest hanging fruit for these April Fool's Day pranks. Low effort. You just threw it into ChatGPT and AI'd the image. It's not creative. It doesn't actually fool anyone. There's nothing about it. No, can it?
Well, speaking of that, Riley, there is another team, another rival team for us here in Wisconsin who tried to give their best effort. That being one Minnesota Gophers, who posted earlier today. I believe this is from just their overall athletics account, saying, "Welcome to Minnesota, LFG. Click the link to learn more about the new live mascot program, that being Meet Lil G." With the new live mascot for the Minnesota Gophers. And the image that you can see on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream is just the actual mascot, in the mascot suit, with a fake gopher, a very fake Photoshop gopher, just on a leash, which is a little inhumane, if I might say so myself. That's kind of messed up.
Where does the link take you to?
I have no clue. I did not click the link. I did not want to know
it.
See, I did. You don't have
Riley
to.
did.
I clicked the link earlier, and it just says, "Meet Lil G, yada, yada, yada. We're Minnesota. We're the worst university on planet Earth. We suck." And this was an April Fool's Day joke. But while you're here, buy season tickets to watch the Gophers suck at every sport.
Hey, maybe Wisconsin should do that. I heard that they're struggling selling season tickets. I think you have 2 more days until the first or the second deadline expires.
Yeah, the second deadline for football season tickets. Yeah, I respect the effort. for this again, I appreciate the graphic was made by humans. I will give them credit for that. Believable? Not really. I do think one of my friends was fooled by it though. So I just don't like giving Minnesota props for anything. This would easily... Goldie Gopher is the worst mascot in sports, and Lil G would be a close second if he was real.
But his name is so cute.
Yeah, Lil G, Lil Gopher. I would punt Lil G to the next county. I don't care.
Okay, so Riley, since you are our graphic design aficionado, all the things.
Yes.
I have a task for you because you are back hosting tomorrow's show with me.
Yes.
You need to do some kind of April Fool's graphic on your own and bring it to us tomorrow to present on the show.
Okay. I will see what I can do.
I know you're busy, but...
I would like to ask Riley, do you think you could do better than the Cleveland Browns as well, introducing their new logo on their helmets?
Wow, that's impressive.
That being the iconic Browns helmet just on the Browns helmet, which are both orange.
I don't hate that.
So it's a helmet logo on a helmet logo?
I like that. That's clever. That's clever.
Okay.
I'm
It's
crushing
dumb,
that. I think,
but it's funny.
Exactly. It's stupid, but there's
It's actually what you should be going for on April Fool's Day. Just get a good chuckle. Like, nobody's actually getting duped unless you're my mom who thinks Guy Ferrari's coming to Madison.
Yeah, see, what I hate is the ones that people that think they're funny that are like, I saw one today, Colton Joseph broke his ribs at practice or over spring break.
That's
And it's like, why
That's
are you
weird.
doing that? Why are you putting that out there?
Manifesting?
Yeah.
And it's a Badgers fan. Like, what joy are you getting out of this?
The other weird one that I saw from Badger fans, too, this one actually came out like last night before, technically, April Fool's Day. They posted that Frank Kaminsky was joining the Badgers basketball program as like a co-coach. Not an assistant coach, co-coach of the Badgers basketball program, which thankfully I was on my toes last night, too. I was fully aware, but like, that's one where it's like, once again, my mom, my dad, someone who's a little elderly looking at this on Facebook is gonna get duped. I think my dad actually might have texted it to me last night.
Look at this.
I think he did. I actually, now that I remember it, I think that's where I first saw it. My parents, guys. The Facebook.
Lock them in a home. I'm just kidding.
The Facebook crowd.
I respect the belief they have in humanity.
Yeah, they're just, exactly. They're just not jaded like us millennials or Gen Zers, whatever we are. Yeah. Can't fool us.
We got to get into throwing stones. That's coming up next. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, a WBA award finalist for Wisconsin's best radio show.
Maybe, can I get a Molly was right? Like, literally.
Molly was right.
Thank you.
I thought we had like a liner. Yeah.
No. We should get one. That should be the liner. That is going to be the liner moving forward.
Yeah,
okay,
with
thank
all
you.
of my enthusiasm, I threw into that one.
Exactly.
I can give you a better one. Molly was right!
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
is Jim, Matt, and Molly. I'm Molly Brown, live from Milwaukee. Riley Jauch and primetime Ryan Wollersheim are behind the glass. Well, not behind the glass. They're in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios.
It depends on which glass you're looking at and your perspective.
True.
I could
You're
be behind the glass.
That's true.
You're looking in from the office.
Yeah, and
that is true.
Riley's behind the glass from my perspective.
Exactly.
I'm behind the glass from his perspective.
Wow.
And we're both looking through the camera glass at Molly.
It's going to be so much easier. So much easier tomorrow when I'm back in Madison. I can't wait.
Yes.
That'll be nice.
That'll be fun.
If you missed any of today's show, you can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app, or you can stream us on the ESPN Madison YouTube page, and you can always watch back there as well. Time now for Throwing Stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, guys. So like I said, I'm in our Milwaukee studios, and our Milwaukee studios and office are much bigger than what we have in Madison. So how this office is situated. So upstairs is where all the business people are, okay? That's everything besides people that do shows, right?
Okay.
So all the people that do shows. Have you been here, Riley?
I actually have never been to the Milwaukee office.
Oh, wow. You should come here. Okay.
I know. I need to get
I've been there, I believe, twice in the ESPN Milwaukee offices, so I have a rough general idea of what you're talking about.
Okay, so like down below is like where all the content people are, shows, producers, all the different things, right? So basically, there's a bathroom that everybody uses, but you have to leave the office to go out into like outside of the office. It's like a general bathroom for everybody that has like offices upstairs within our building, because we're in like an old mall. Okay. So like that's a big bathroom, like 10 stalls for like women. I don't know what the men's one is. Sorry, I can't tell you what the men's bathroom is like there. But like that's where everybody goes.
Probably a good thing that you don't know what the men's bathroom looks like.
Yeah, no, I can imagine it's disgusting. But then down here where all the content people are, we do have our own bathrooms because, you know, if you got to run out during break, you only have so much time. It's not like you can get out into the middle of the mall to go to the bathroom. So there's 2 bathrooms over here. There's a men's and women's, and it's individual ones. So like only one person can go in at a time. There are locks on the doors. So I use that before the show, and every day that I go to use that bathroom, I have a fear that I'm going to open the door on somebody using said bathroom. Like, I have a fear of doing it. And one that stems from, I've heard that another person that works here was walked in on by somebody else as they were using the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, that's terrifying. So the speed at which I open the door when I go to the bathroom, like into the room, is so slow because I am so paranoid that somebody is going to be in there that forgot to lock it, because accidents happen. You can always forget to lock. And so then I open it super slow, and then I also like try not to make eye contact into the bathroom in case somebody is in there. So then I'm like looking out, but then like I glance, and like every time that I've used it, knock on wood, the light has been off, so that means that like nobody's in there, right? At least you would hope not, because that'd be scary.
Yeah, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah, but I just have this massive fear that I am going to walk in on somebody using the bathroom. Have you done that, Riley? Have you ever walked in on somebody using the bathroom?
I mean, I have walked in on people using the bathroom, and it's terrible. And
it's the worst.
It's so bad. I don't know if I've ever dealt with it in that particular kind of case where it's a door and it's a single-use bathroom, but I have certainly. In men's bathrooms, I'll just be walking in. It's like, I gotta go. I gotta get to the toilet, and like I'm bypassing the urinals. I'm going straight to the stall.
Oh God!
And I just gotta go. And I accidentally, the door isn't locked, or I just kind of give it a little, like I just kind of barged in, and then I didn't see that there was a person there. Then they're like, "What are you doing, man? Like what? Come on, what are you doing?" Freaking out. And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I really have to go." And then you're out there like tapping your feet. So that's why, like, Have you ever hit in like a normal bathroom? You know, do the little glance under, like try to see if you can see the feet under the stall. So that's what I do. That's my go-to in public bathrooms is like quick glance for the feet. Okay.
And there's no way to do that without looking super weird and
You look
creepy.
stupid or weird.
What's going on under there?
I'm just trying to see
Like
if there's
you're
someone
Pennywise the clown climbing underneath. Hello there.
creeping up. Not trying to do that. I just want to make sure if there's someone in there, because sometimes people keep their feet close or they're kind of tucked in. It's hard to tell sometimes by the angle. So
I will say, I actually at the Madison office, I did walk in on somebody that works within the building. Not in our office. It wasn't anybody in our office. Thank God, I would have died. But we see this person on a regular basis. Okay, so I don't know how the men's ones are there, but the stall door sometimes on the bigger, bathroom one, doesn't lock. So, you think you did it, but then all of a sudden the door will just, open on you, right? This one said that it was green, that it was open. So then I went and opened it, and there somebody was just going to the bathroom. I was like,
no.
I ran out of the bathroom so fast, ran back into the office because I didn't want to see them in the hallway. I was like, I'm just gonna hold it because I'm not risking an interaction that's awkward.
No.
Exactly.
That's brutal.
Exactly. So that's happened to me before.
Ugh.
Ryan, have you ever walked in on somebody and going to the bathroom?
Okay, I'll say this because we're a little short on time here, so I can tease this for the next segment.
Oh, God.
I've never walked in on someone in the bathroom. I have been walked in on in multiple settings, which is also very awkward.
bad.
I promise. I can tell you more about it on the other side.
Amazing. I want to talk about that next. This is Jim at Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Maybe, can I get a Molly was right? Literally.
Molly was right.
Thank you.
I thought we had a liner. Yeah.
No. We should get one. That should be the liner. That is going to be the liner moving forward.
Yeah,
okay,
with
thank
all
you.
of my enthusiasm, I threw into that one.
Exactly.
I'll give you a better one. Molly was right!
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Molly Brown and Riley Jauch hanging out with you today. Primetime Ryan Wollersheim is behind the glass in Madison in the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. Ryan, you left us on a giant cliffhanger as we were talking about bathroom stories during Throwing Stones, where Riley and I said that we have both walked in on people going to the bathroom / have a fear of walking in on people going to the bathroom. And you said that you have been walked in on multiple times, which leads me to believe you are the problem. Explain.
No, it's not, I promise. Well, the second time maybe. So, okay, I should actually rephrase. Technically, I wasn't in the bathroom both times. The first time was in the bathroom. And
Just in the hallway?
It was a very excruciating bathroom to be walked in on because it wasn't really a bathroom. It was a porta potty.
Oh, yikes.
This was brutal because I was traveling with my family to go watch my brother play a travel baseball game. I'm probably like 12 maybe at the time, maybe like 11.
Oh, no.
My brother's like in high school. And we actually traveled out to this game with another teammate's family. And I believe his mom and his brother were with us. So we rode in the car with them all the way. We had to eventually use the bathroom. So once we got there, I got into the porta potty. And I think it was like one of the first things I did when we got there. And of course, everyone else had to go to the bathroom too. And me being a stupid 11 or 12-year-old didn't lock the door on the porta potty. So then, of course, this other teammate, his family member, his brother walks in and just opens the door on me all the way as I'm using the bathroom.
So it was your fault.
It was. And this is brutal because it's like a person who you don't know them, but you met them 3 hours ago and you just spent an entire car ride with them.
Yep.
And now you just have to sit awkwardly with them throughout an entire youth baseball game and just pretend like it never happened, which we never said a thing to each other about it, just went on with the rest of our days. And I don't think I ever saw him again. Thank God.
Not a bad way to go about it.
No, I mean, it was so brutally awkward. I had repressed that thought, actually, that memory, until Molly even brought up that story. So thanks,
You're welcome.
Molly. Thank you. And then the other one that I remembered, I was not in a bathroom. It was a very similar situation, though. I was in the changing room at like a department store.
Yep.
One of the changing rooms. And I was in, it was one of those giant ones where there's like, I don't know, whatever, like 15 stalls, both sides lined throughout the whole hall. And I'm pretty sure it was just like basically full. And I was using one of the changing rooms. And, you know, they always walk around whenever doors close. They knock, knock, knock. Anyone in there?
Yep.
And you're just supposed to respond and say, sorry, someone's in here. Go to the next one.
The worst. I hate it.
And it sucked because I was in this giant changing, multiple stall room. And they were knocking on the doors. And I couldn't tell whose door they're knocking on.
This has happened to me before.
So I'm just sitting there being like, I don't know if they just knocked on mine.
Yes.
So they do it one time. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that wasn't me. And then the next one they go, someone in there? And I just went, no, that's definitely, that was like across the aisle.
They're throwing their knocks.
Then all of a sudden, the door opens with this young girl who's like working in the department store, and then another girl who's behind her who's waiting to change her clothes, and I'm mid-changing back into my pants. And it was the worst thing ever. I think I was probably, once again, I'm maybe 14 or 15 at the time.
Oh, these are such impressionable years for you.
Awful ages for this to happen.
So bad. Yes, it was. Oh, those were brutally awkward. God, I had forgotten about those.
Man.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Molly.
I'm so glad that you said the changing room thing, though, because that has definitely happened to me where you're like, no, that wasn't my door. That wasn't my door.
Yep.
That wasn't my door. And then all of a sudden they're like still knocking. And you're just like,
yep.
Okay. Like, yeah, no.
I think that
awkward.
one might have happened to everyone before. Riley, has that happened to you?
I don't think I've ever been walked in on in a changing room, but I definitely understand the pressure of hearing the knock, and you're like, was that me? I can't see the legs underneath, so I don't know.
Once again, you start looking under the
you're
stalls
like,
in the
where is it
changing
coming
room.
from?
Then you look like the ultimate creepo,
Exactly.
so you can't do that.
It's impossible.
TJ from the road chimes in on the